Hi, Chewy. How are you today? This is my service dog, Chewy. He's a good boy, aren't you, Chewy? You're a good boy. Good boy, Chewy. His name is Chuska. Good boy, Chuska. Good boy. It's PQ here, PQ Speed Shop. Welcome back.
Hey!
Home over a decade.
Holy crap. Hey, that's a yeehaw moment right there.
That right there is very, very sharp. I cut my finger. So I went in the house to get a Band-Aid. And I asked my wife, what's up with these Band-Aids? She says they were on sale. Why? What's wrong with them? Kind of like the contrast though. Works well. Oh well. Anyways, welcome back. PQ Speed Shop here. Back on the Challenger once again. We went ahead and finished up the inside portion of this piece back here, welding this up. This section up here was a donor piece, which I didn't need to do, but I didn't know at the time, so it's been replaced. And that's that. We got all this welded up. And look there, we got a fender. Fenders need a little work as far as lining and getting the gaps right, but we're close enough where we can start working on the quarter panels in the back end. Exciting times, right? We got them over here. We're going to scuff those up, put some epoxy primer on, and then throw down some lizard skin on there. On the inside of here, I got to take all these parts off and prep them all to be welded in. Doing some last minute paint marking to show where I need to grind and put the weld through primer at all along here. Kind of give me an idea of what goes where. And we'll get all this welded up in here, around here. This will all get some, that lizard skin right in this area, probably up before the weld, right in that area, back, down. So we'll be taping that off, but that's going to take, that's a little ways from now. It's going to take us a while to get this done. But I wanted to show you all where I was at. Kind of exciting. Yes, I got the door and the fender on the other side. This side's even worse. I had to tie it down, but we're going to get the gap right here. I have to do some fender adjustments here. We got some wide gap here. The lip that goes on the bottom, where the bottom of the fender connects, is kind of pushed in. So I got to bend that back out to get it straight up and down, and that'll fix this little gap right here. All right, welcome back. So we got the inner wheelhouses and the trunk drop-offs and this last piece here all welded in, ready to go. I still have to fit the quarter panel some more, but before I can do that, I started cleaning up the back of the trunk pan, because eventually we're going to go ahead and epoxy primer all this stuff, and I'm going to put some lizard skin on the inside of the door, or the wheelhouses, and on the inside of the quarter panel. Meantime, I got this jack support here. Not that the jack's going to be usable with what we got, but I'd like to be able to at least put the pieces back. Obviously, this jack has not been restored yet. It's just part of the process. So, as I always said before, time and time again, save all your old parts. So what I did was I went out to the scrap pile, I dug out the old piece, the old wheel housing, and I also dug out this side drop off, if you can see there. So I could get an idea, and I took the measurements and kind of placed them where they're at. I'm going to go ahead and mark this off, and then we're going to go ahead and weld those pieces in. I'm thinking that that's right about where it needs to be. This may need to come back a little bit farther, because this goes underneath the jack and kind of sits in there. you can see that. Alright, let me get my hammer. PQ here. Now we got this trunk pan all sanded down, scuffed down I should say, and all the wheelhouse, upper wheelhouse, inside the quarter window area, that's scuffed up. I got a little bit more to touch up in here because I'm going to go ahead and put, what we're doing next is epoxy primer. So I'm going to put a epoxy primer over this stuff. I know some people take the E-coat off, I do not. So we're going to go ahead and do this epoxy primer. Now over here, where any place where there's seam sealer at, we're only going to put one coat of epoxy primer on there. We're going to seal it with the seam sealer and then hit it with another coat. That's because the lizard skin stuff will not stick to that. And the plan here is to lizard skin the entire floor instead of putting down the tape down sound deadener. You can hear that? Get rid of some of that tinny noise. So we're going to do the lizard skin on the entire floor of the car. And over the wheel well area up in here, probably down right around in this area up in here where it's got a bad rot problem in the past. Just kind of put it in there. I'll try to go around these holes pretty much because I don't want to make it so it's hard to get the rubber plugs in there. So it's not real important that we get the lizard skin there. So we'll kind of just, go around there. If I have to, I could sand around, pop that in because this is getting paint color. Same thing on this side. We want to do all this stuff before we put the quarter panels on. Quarter panels are over here on the stands. Got those weld through primer on these, scuffed down, ready for the epoxy primer, and then the lizard skin. So essentially we're just putting one coat on here to kind of seal it in because any bare metal parts that are on there. Seal that all in, and then we'll let that dry. I think it's got to dry for a day before we can use the lizard skin. And then after that, we'll give the lizard skin a chance to dry, and then we'll hit it with some color. And in between that, I'll go ahead and decide what I'm going to do with this as far as whether I want to add I have to add that second coat over top of the seam sealer. So that'll give us a chance to get the seam sealer down.
So one of the issues I'm going to have is if I decide to lizard skin this, I got these holes, and these holes are where the plugs go. So I don't want to put lizard skin over the section that gets the rubber plug, and I don't want to put the rubber plugs in yet. So I'll show you what I came up with to solve this problem. And it just comes out right around there, so it gives me, it's worth a try, right? So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 that size, and then some a little bit smaller. So I'll find something that's similar to that and do the same thing. All right, so now I've got this area ready for the lizard skin. I put on some primer over top of the seam sealer. I cut out the little pieces of tape that fit there. I found a couple stickers from my old motocross days that fit over the holes up there. So I'm going to go ahead and start coating this with some lizard skin. That looks pretty good. And then when I get the inside done, I'll go ahead and get that lizard skin on the inside. But I want to get this trunk part first because we're going to go ahead and spray some paint in here on this. I'll let this dry for 24 hours, and then I'm going to go ahead and apply what I'm going to call Resurrection Red. It's a little bit lighter, well actually a whole lot lighter than the original E5 blue, or E5 red. Sorry, I don't know what the blue is. E5 red is a little darker than what I wanted. All right, guys, you need to get out of here. Go get your tail in the lizard skin. You're gonna get your tail in the lizard skin. You better watch it. You too. Out of here, boys. Go on. I know it's hot outside, but go on, get outside. Come on, let's go out here. Come on. Good boys. Good morning, PQ Speed Shop. We're on day 4 of our window, and today we're going to throw some color on the inside of these quarters and on the inside of this trunk. Let's go. What I finished yesterday was putting in the lizard skin over here. You see I kind of taped off around those areas because I want to be able to get those plugs in there afterward. I know this is not usually how people do things. I'm painting the inside of the trunk. There's basically the trunk pan right in here. It's hard to reach if you've painted one afterward, and you know I'm already painting the inside of the quarters because the quarters are going on. So I don't know how this is going to work out. It may work out great, may not, but essentially this is the way I decided to do it. I'm going to go ahead and mix up. I got a single stage 3-to-1 urethane paint that I'm going to mix up. I got to cover up a few more items in here just to keep it from getting overspray here in the garage. And I got my big fan on. I got the door cracked a little bit to draw some air in. You can tell by the way the plastic is on there that we're getting some kind of pressure in here, which is what we want. We want air to keep flowing. It's a very humid day today. I'm out here early. It's like 8 a.m. I'm gonna go ahead and get this shot. 3 coats of the single stage. I'm not going to clear over the single stage on this one, although you know people say, well, of course not. Well, when we do the outside of this car, we will be adding a clear to the single stage, just simply for buffing and shine and longevity. That's what we're going to do. And the goal with this car from day one was to bring it back to a condition that you could drive it, you could enjoy it, you could love it for the next 50 years. So let's get busy. towards the trunk area so you can take a look without actually being in the way. And paint the trunk area and under the roof, where the roof skin will go on top, under there. I mean, this is all about rust prevention and longevity. So that's what we're doing all this stuff for, is to make sure the car never looks like it did when I got it. So let's go. This is what sucks. This is what sucks about painting a red vehicle. Yeah, I'm gonna play hell getting this out of my beard and everything else, but hey, we got some color on the Challenger. Something new. Ain't got in my teeth. Yummy. Alright, let me get busy cleaning guns, cleaning my face, cleaning everything else. And yeah, man, I'm excited. Damn compressor. Alright, see you.